I think when I started making YouTube videos, I think this is like the 3rd time I've done a blonde ale. But this time, not only am I gonna make a blonde ale, but I'm gonna add some fruit to it. Start with arguably the most important ingredient in beer. 8.8 gallons of reverse osmosis water. All right, that's heavy. We've got our water in our kettle. We're gonna heat it up to our strike temperature. Our strike temperature is 154. We want to mash in at 150. So we are shooting for a 60-minute mash at 150 degrees. While the water's heating up, I crush my grain. If you're using brew in the bag, I highly recommend getting your grains double crushed. Let's go crush some grains. For grains on this one, I'm using 10 pounds, 7.2 ounces of just regular 2-row. I got mine from Mecca Grade, and then I'm using 8.5 ounces of their Rimrock Rye. That's it. Oh, I almost forgot. I said one of the most important parts of beer is water. Are you looking to take your brew game to the next level? Add water salts. Let's go do that. 3.2 grams of calcium chloride, 10.6 grams of gypsum, 5.1 grams of Epsom salts. Once you get up to your strike temperature, just drop your brew bag in your kettle. I like to secure my brew bag on with these little clips. I'm just a dump it all in and stir type of guy. You just want to stir it up to make sure there's no dough balls in there. Even brew in a bag, because I use full volume water, I usually don't have that big of an issue, especially with this light of a beer. This one's got a starting gravity of 1051. High-tech installation time. All right, now we just let it sit for an hour, stirring occasionally. As it's been about an hour, I'm gonna pull my bag. They smell so fruity. I feel like I smell a little stone fruit in there already. 86 in the garage right now, 91 outside. It's just 9 o'clock. When it's that warm here in the Central Valley, my groundwater is just incredibly hot. So I picked up a little something to help me out, and boy, has it made a difference. I've used it a couple times. The Jaded Hydra chiller. This thing is an absolute beast. It really does work. If you're an immersion chiller type of person and you are looking to cool your wort down even faster, I highly recommend Jaded Hydra. Totally not sponsored. Paid for it with my own money. Totally worth it. One of the things I absolutely love about my new chiller is the fact that it comes with hookups for your garden hoses already just pre-installed on it. The initial water that's coming out, I'll use that to clean some things, and then I water my garden. I just hook up a normal garden hose and I water my garden with that, and I love it. My plants love it too. For yeast on this one, using Safale SO4 is the English ale yeast. So I am going to ferment this one at 65 degrees, hoping to kind of accentuate some of those stone fruit estery characteristics in it. The time has come. I was originally planning on adding my apricot puree on day 3, but I can tell it's been a while since I've used the SO4 English ale strain, but it is a super fast fermenter, and I can already tell it's winding down. So I want to make sure I do ferment while there's still some active fermentation going on, just so I can maybe scrub any oxygen that's going to be introduced. So there is my apricot puree that I'm going to use. I'm going to sanitize the top, sanitize my can opener, and this should be a sanitary product. I'm going to dump it in my fermenter with the least amount of splashing that I possibly can. I think I have some on my shorts. As I was dumping the apricot puree into the fermenter, I bumped the side of my chest freezer. I only spilled a little bit, but that is the result. I might have said a curse word. Be hoppy. It's probably pretty hard to tell right now, but it is 107 degrees outside. It's actually a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was 112 out. So I've kind of been waiting to test this beer. What do you think of the color on this? It's got the apricot puree in there, so it is absolutely not going to be clear, but that was not the point of this beer. So the head is, not sticking around too much. Had a nice white head at the top. The color is just like it looks like an apricot. It's like the same orange as an apricot. Okay, for the aroma on this one, this is where I pick up the apricot. I get like a light apricot scent in there. I don't get much hops in there. I was kind of hoping I would get a little bit more of that Amarillo in there, and I don't get much malt in there either. I pick up on like a hint of the apricot, but then there's a little bit of the malt, like a just kind of a bread, like a white bready character, and then there's something on the end that I don't like at all. And I realized this on brew day. As a matter of fact, let me just show you when I realized it. I don't want this beer to be overly bitter, although looking at it and thinking about it, there's a ton of gypsum in there, but I don't want it to be overly bitter, but crisp. So that gypsum can help with the crisp feeling of it, but not overly bitter. Brew day, I realized my error. Way too much gypsum. And so what I get on the back end of this beer is I get like this minerally, it's like a tang. It's not astringency, but it's like this minerally tang that hits the sides of my mouth, and it tastes, I guess minerally is the way I would put it. It makes the beer taste like overly crisp. Gypsum is supposed to make your hops kind of shine through more, so kind of accentuate that characteristic and I guess that bitterness. But in this beer, it just doesn't work great. I wish it was a little softer and just a little bit more rounder, and I think that gypsum kind of gives it like this harsh, like clean bite, and I don't feel like it matches this beer. So I did realize what I did when I was designing this recipe. Something went wrong in my water profile, and I selected the style for my water profile as a pale ale, and it boosted the gypsum up a ton, and I didn't catch it until I had already put it in there. And so it is what it is. Is this beer bad? No, this beer's not bad. It's not my favorite. I don't know if I'll brew it again. I might brew it again. If I do, I'm definitely not going to follow the same water profile. It's funny because at the very beginning, I'm like, one of the most important parts of beer is water. Arguably the most important ingredient in beer. I said one of the most important parts of beer. is water.
Is water.
And then I went and screwed it up by putting too much gypsum in there. I'm not gonna dump the keg. It's not like it doesn't have an off flavor to me, and it just leaves like a minerally taste in my mouth. I'm almost positive it's from the gypsum. I don't think it's from anything else. It's okay. I wish it didn't have that. You live and you learn. When all is said and done, I'm actually kind of glad that I did that, because you learn from it. It's a learning experience, right? So now I know when you add too much gypsum to beer, that's what happens. If you are gonna brew this beer, definitely don't put 10 grams of gypsum in there. Select your water profile as a blonde ale and put a whole lot less. Probably more like 3 or 4. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot from this beer. If you've made it this far in the video, you guys know I absolutely appreciate every like, every comment, and every view. Thank you guys so much. Cheers to you guys. Until the next brew day. It's not bad. It's growing on me. Apricot, apricot, apricot. Apricot, apricot. Is it apricot or is it apricot? Hey, down in the comments, let me know. Is it apricot or is it apricot? Focus, 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 focus.